It's like the arena of legends. If MMA wins, he'll like hold up NesTea's head or something and go, "Are you entertained?" Or are you not entertained? Either way, we'll be entertained by this guy, our yellow Terran at the top right part of the map from the Team Slayers, MMA. And down at the bottom left, we again have our Zerg player who needs to win this game to stay in it. It is Incredible Miracles NesTea. So, Wolf, we've got cross positions on Tal'Darim Altar. What do you think we're going to see this game?
Well, I couldn't have asked for a more exciting matchup of players and more exciting positions on a large map. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, NesTea, we saw last game, showed great multitasking. He just kept rebuilding his Mutalisk count. He synced, that's not a word. That's not a word.
Synced can be a word if you're like, I synced my Bluetooth with my phone or something.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I was like, I just caught myself twice. I'm like digging myself a grave. Well, he sank a lot of gas into those mutas, and that's why we never saw that hive. That's why we never saw the infestation pit. And at the end of that game, we saw that MMA was a little gas-starved, and that's where there were less and less siege tanks, but his marine splitting was really good, and if infestors were out, I think that game would have gone a little differently.
You know, that's true.
If NesTea wanted to go for that really, really heavy Muta style, I think he should have been a little bit more careful with his Mutas, and I think that was the biggest blunder of NesTea. Now, we're going to see a Command Center first here, 14 CC coming out from MMA.
Oh, nice.
A very safe build, again, because of NesTea's style, because he always likes to go hatch first on a map like this.
Yep.
He knows there's almost zero risk of a 6 pool or even a 10 pool.
We could bring back Steps of War and NesTea would still go hatch first. I mean, that's just how he plays, man. He could probably hold it, too. That's the thing. He's one of the few Zergs that probably be like, yeah, Steps of War, okay, I'll go hatch
I'm
first.
like, what's Steps of War? I've never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like
way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, there was a tiny map called Steps of War. And it was kind of entertaining. People liked to drone rush on it.
That was a fun map.
Yeah. Well, it's fun for certain people.
Well, I like the architecture of Steps of War.
That's the thing, is that if you could take that architecture, that layout, and just make it bigger, it'd be a really cool map.
Yeah, if you took, for example, the rush distance of Crossfire, but the architecture of Steps of War, I think that would be a little bit better of a map.
Or even like Zelnaga Caverns, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that should be my next map project. My Desert Oasis one went okay, but I'm still working on it. Maybe my next one will be revamped Steps of War.
That would be pretty cool.
Call it something different, like Steps of, I don't know.
Steps of Conflict.
I'll just call it Step by Step.
Step by Step. I like that. Well, NesTea's hatchery is finished. He's transferred his drones already. He's actually just made 2 Zerglings. Very common to see. Wants to catch the scouting SCV, which is actually chasing a drone all the way home. MMA's command center is done. He's adding his factory. Only added 1 gas, not 2, while he was going for that command center first.
Yep. And so with this, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see MMA go into a very similar type of build that we saw last time. I mean, that's one of the things about Command Center first, is you kind of skip all the sort of opening, trickery, shenanigans. You just go right into what you're going to want to do. So wouldn't be surprised at all to see that. There's a tech lab on the factory. Might see some Blue Flame Hellions. Might see him just produce some siege tanks just to stay safe.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about what we've seen change in TVZ. It used to be the Siege Expand was the way to go. It was the safest thing to do. You could hold all sorts of Baneling busts, but you could also hold Roach Aggression. And now people are finding out that Blue Flame is better, and in fact we are going to see the Infernal Pre-Igniter being researched right now for MMA.
Yep.
People are finding out that Blue Flame is better because with good control on your Hellions and with just a bunker, you can usually hold all types of aggression and then have the opportunity to control the map, kill drones, so it's kind of an evolution really of TVZ.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, is that it's always nice when you can put some sort of pressure on your opponent, even if you don't do a lot of damage. As long as you can keep them from pressuring you, you know, you're feeling a little bit good about the game.
Now, NesTea has done something awesome with his 2 Zerglings. He's actually sent 1 to each watchtower that's close to MMA, so anytime Hellions or any units of any kind move out for MMA, even a scout, NesTea will know about it.
Even a battle cruiser.
Yeah, we won't be seeing any of those, but
even
just in case, you know, you never know.
Even a Goliath, those Zerglings will be like, what what? That shouldn't be here, but he'll know about it.
He'll know about it.
Yep, he'll at least know about it.
NesTea's in the know, man. Look, he even has an Overlord going to the top side of the map.
You know, NesTea actually probably has like a Cerebro-type device from X-Men, like by his computer that he just puts on, and he like knows exactly what's happening in his opponent's mind.
That's not even fair. Well, Speaking of one Zergling into each watchtower, MMA has sent one heli into each and has cleared up all those watchtowers, so everything we were just talking about no longer matters, and that's why people go Hellions.
He's not going to see those Goliaths now, is he?
No, you can't know about the Goliaths that don't exist. You can't know. Now, these roaches are out, and they're going to completely shut down the Hellion harass. And, you know, this roach pressure plus roach defense type of thing was kind of trendy for a while, but now it's become standard. People do this in the Korean server and at the GSL so much because it gives you two opportunities, one to defend and one to be aggressive.
Yep, most Zergs are just getting a Roach Warren. They're not even like, oh, well, I think he's going Hellion, so I'll get a Roach Warren. It's just like, I'm just going to get a Roach Warren. It's not a very big investment. It's 150 minerals. You know, I mean, you can use it if you want to, put a little bit of pressure on your opponent depending on the map. Well, you can break down the rocks, get a quick third like we see NesTea doing.
What NesTea's doing right now is he got a super fast lair, which we didn't mention. He's getting Overlord drops and Roach speed and a Baneling nest. I think NesTea may have some sort of little all-in prepared.
I think that's possible. You know, we saw some Zerg players like TSL Revival favoring a lot of Roach drops. He could just be planning, though, to load up some Banelings and just drop those on the army while his Roaches kind of pressure as well. So
yeah, this is just really interesting. I don't know what the plan here is. He's not going to have Overlord speed. He doesn't have very many Overlords to get aggressive on the map, so it may not be like a timing attack sort of thing. I'm just kind of curious to see what's going to happen. Now, MMA is going to drop 3 Hellions and 2 Marines into the main base of NesTea. He has plenty of Roaches. In fact, he's got 20 Roaches out right now, but if they're not in the right spot, he may be able to get some drone kills.
Maybe. I mean, those Hellions could get in there and do some damage, but NesTea's Roaches aren't too far away. Roach speed has finished, of course, so the creep not connecting to the bases isn't too important. Looks like he's going to attack the main with Roaches and drop Marines into the natural. Here comes the Hellions that are not Roaches, and he's going to be able to do some damage.
Yeah, killing just a few drones.
All right.
And the Marines, you know, not doing a whole lot here.
Yeah. Not microing too much, concentrating on the Hellions in the main base.
Oh man, this is definitely going to be an all-in. He's got Overlord speed. He has so many Overlords getting ready to drop into the natural of MMA. Look at that. That is so many Roaches. That is actually 30 Roaches and 12 Banelings in those dropships. Dropships, those are Overlords, those aren't dropships, but he's using them as dropships.
Yeah, here they come. MMA running his SCVs away right away. What does he have to defend this? You know what? I'll tell you. Not a whole lot. Will he be able to hold?
Banelings dropping on top of these bunkers.
And the bunkers are all going to go down very, very quickly. NesTea with a brilliant drop here, taking out the units of MMA SCVs, going back to try to help out.
Well, unfortunately for NesTea, a lot of his Banelings hit Marauders and were not very useful. And actually now, most of his Roaches in the main here are going to get cleaned up, but he's got more reinforcing Roaches, doing a lot of damage, actually killing quite a few workers. But I got to say, MMA is going to hold this.
Wow, that actually was amazing.
It was a nice hold by MMA. I think NesTea could have made that attack go a lot better if he had just decided to use his Banelings more appropriately. He's made so many more Roaches, though. He still has a total of 31 Roaches out right now, and he's just going to wait. He's probably going to ferry some Roaches into the main and then attack at the natural when the units go back to defend.
Well, like you mentioned, he's pretty all-in at this point. He needs to make something happen. If he doesn't...
He doesn't have Zergling speed.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He doesn't have Zergling speed. We see it
just now starting.
Wow, so NesTea is kind of like, all right, that was supposed to kill him. Didn't go well. What do I do now? Trying to make a bunch of Lings and Zergling speed. Looks like he's going to try to drop in the main in a little bit.
Oh, it's a fake drop. He's got a bunch of empty Overlords here. He's going to fly them into the main. And that's, of course, going to really trick MMA. Now, NesTea has just made a ton of slow Zerglings. He's making some Banelings. The Zergling speed is about a third of the way done. He may just wait for everything to finish. All of his Banelings, the rest of his Zergling speed, and do a fake drop. And just attack from two sides.
I love this by MMA, though. Look at that. Look at the nice spread on the bunkers there that's going to help against Banelings. He's got a nice wall of supply depots there, although it would be nice if his Marines were behind it. MMA, I mean, if he sees this and pulls back in time, he has a chance, a slim chance, but a chance.
Oh, man. I get to say something really embarrassing. You see that, all that vision that MMA has? He has the Watchtower, and NesTea didn't take the Watchtower away. MMA sees everything.
Oh, no.
Like when Woody told Sid that toys see everything in Toy Story, man, that's how much of everything he sees.
I'd be just as freaked out as Sid, man. That was a scary scene. Here we go. Lots and lots of Banelings. But they're all being used up on those depots and bunkers. Is it going to be enough? Trying to micro his heart out with those Marines. SCVs coming off the line again. A drop in the main killing quite a bit, but he's not microing because he's worried about what's going on at the main. Oh, man.
It looks like NesTea actually forgot to bring his Zerglings with his main attack as well. And they're coming in here a little bit late.
I guess so.
But it may not be enough.
No, it's going to be so close. I mean, MMA is going to barely clean this up, I think. Meanwhile, back at the main base of NesTea, a lot of damage has been done. One Hellion going crazy with excitement. And look at that. He picks it up, doesn't lose any units, and suddenly 29 drones to just 5 SCVs, but there's mules, so it's okay.
There are mules, and there is an army for MMA, and NesTea is going to just have to frantically scramble out units to hold this.
He's going to do that fake drop.
Yeah, he's finally doing that. I'm not sure why he waited so long to do that. I feel like MC, or I keep saying MC instead of NesTea. They both have the like two-syllable thing there, but NesTea, I feel like he kind of botched this attack a little bit.
Yeah, well, MMA, I mean, he doesn't really bite on the fake drop. He's kind of like, yeah, I just use up all your units. I know how much you have. Nice try there. He's gonna
this drop could take out the spawning pool.
That's exactly right. And he's going to go after drones instead, though, maybe. Yeah, he wants to even up that worker count, but, you know, really, I mean, with mules, Terran is not great, but he's not really that bad off.
Yeah, actually he has a better, in the income tab right now, he's actually a higher income than NesTea.
Yeah, there you go.
About 1,000 for MMA to 900 per minute for NesTea with those mules, with 35 drones, 13 SCVs.
And he's got the potential of getting a lot of free Overlord kills here too, with all those Overlords hanging out by his base. This is a very interesting game again, man. I could just watch these guys play all day.
I feel like NesTea is still very far ahead. All he needs to do now is be very patient. He's made a ton of roaches again, and I'm not sure if I agree with this choice. I would have liked to see him take a third base and just get further ahead. Well,
he's going to try to win now, and look at that. MMA finds the Overlords. Those Overlords are
man, if he catches all of those, it's going to be really bad. That drop got caught.
Yeah, don't want to drop there. Maybe he is the Darth Vader Terran.
Well, this drop could potentially do a lot of damage. Remember that Hellion still has blue flame.
Yeah, exactly. And some Marines getting caught in the middle of the map, though.
Oh, no. This could be the end for MMA.
Yeah, not the best time to move out at all there. Nice micro. He picks him up in the medevac. Really well done by MMA. But, you know, a little bit of a questionable choice to send them out in the middle of the map right now. I mean, NesTea is still basically all in. He's still making a lot of units. MMA just really has to play defensive right now.
And looks like this drop may eventually be taken out here. It's getting very low.
Yeah, the medevacs are losing a lot of health.
And NesTea now has Baneling speed. He's got, I'll give you guys some more numbers. He's got a total of 12 Banelings and 23 roaches. MMA has caught up in workers, though.
Oh, is he going to get the spawning pool? No, he's going after the roaches instead because he can take them out probably, but yeah.
Here comes NesTea's attack at the natural.
Oh,
Baneling speed, now that's kicked in, is doing a lot for NesTea here, but that siege tank doing so much damage.
Moving the Marauders up to try to soak Baneling damage. Didn't work out too well.
Yeah, not a lot of splitting from MMA, and now these roaches with more reinforcing Banelings may actually be able to crush through.
More Banelings coming in, trying to focus fire them down. He gets them all. Another siege tank doing some damage to those roaches, softening them up. MMA is there, and NesTea again.
Totally botched it. I feel like he totally botched it.
Wow.
He actually could have sent all of his units in at once, but instead sent them in two groups yet again, and because of his control, MMA was able to hold that quite easily.
MMA has some of the best micro in the game right now, hands down. I mean, he would give Marine King a run for his money in the micro department. Look at this, still dropping, and the worker count is even, by the way.
Yeah, 27 drones and 25 SCVs, of course, with mules. That means that MMA is going to have a much better mineral per minute income. Look at that nice dropship control here by MMA. Gonna take out the queen. Oh, gets it, but the queen does get the inject off.
Yep. It's like her last dying act. She's like larva to the hat trick before she dies.
Now MMA may get caught here in the middle of the map.
Oh, he's got to be careful. Stimming in, catching NesTea unawares, but he's got a micro.
And beautiful micro by MMA. NesTea is in a lot of trouble. He's going to lose all of his roaches in the middle of the map.
Are we about to see?
GG! MMA 2-0s. NesTea here in the AOL League.
I can't believe it, man. I mean, NesTea's met his match.
I think he has, man.
Can't say it any different than that. That is it. Slayers MMA 2-0 against I'm NesTea. Suddenly, Codes is looking a little bit different.
Starting to look a little bit different.
That group stage suddenly got a lot more interesting, man.
Well, keep in mind, guys, that MMA and NesTea are in this group for Codes as well, so they'll be playing against each other yet again.
Exactly.
Coming up this week.
To see that game. That's going to be awesome. Well, there you have the rest of our match today. Then we've got NesTea versus MC next, and then MMA versus MC. So, wow.
Kratos Protoss is up next. I got to say, NesTea, his all-in was very creative, was very clever. He didn't make enough usage of his drops. He could have done Baneling drops. He could have done so many more things with those speed overlords. With drops, he had so many Banelings he could have used differently. He never attacked with all of his units at once. He set them in 2 groups. It's like he missed hotkeyed or something. And, you know, did the 1A, but some of his units weren't hotkeyed, so they stayed at home or they were just rallying. I'm not 100% sure why he decided to go for that kind of tactic. I mean, this is the first time I'll ever say this. Is probably the first time anyone will ever say this. Is maybe he didn't feel comfortable playing a macro game against MMA. Why would he do that otherwise?
I think you might actually be right. I mean, the thing is it's so hard to do those little, like, really smart NesTea things when you're having to defend against the incredible drops and micro of MMA too. I mean, it's just like you've got too much stuff going on in your head. You know, he can't use all those little tricks that he normally could.
It was 29 drones to 5 SCVs.
Yeah, and MMA won.
And MMA came back and won. He had a better army. His dropship control was amazing. He never made any mistakes with his drops. NesTea made some mistakes with his attacks, and MMA said, you know what? I am just going to crush through this second game.
Well, you know, it's like I said, I mean, that was probably the best example ever where MMA is like, I like to get behind in the middle game. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go down to just 5 SCVs, and I'm going to come back. But after that happened, he was so efficient with his units. I mean, those drops at NesTea's base, man, I mean, he maybe lost like 1 Marine every 2 or 3 minutes after doing multiple drops. Such good control.
And those dropships, man, they were full, and they stayed pretty full as he kept doing that harassment. That one Hellion kept killing drones, doing a lot of damage. He kept poking at the spawning pool, so every time NesTea wanted to send all of his units to attack, you know, even the units he had at home, he'd have to bring some of them home to defend the drops.
Yeah, the multitasking that takes is pretty incredible.
It's immense.
Yeah, wow. So what a first match for Arena of Legends. That really does deserve the name Arena of Legends, doesn't it?
We've got another legend coming up here to challenge NesTea. NesTea's got his work cut out for him. He's going to have to win this game. And we'll see if he can do it. The map is going to be dual site. It's loading up now. See you guys in the game.